Hey all, and welcome back to the channel, Hyphens Classics. It's been a while, I know, and there'll probably be some more gaps coming up as there's been a few big changes. A few people know what's going on, not everyone, but that's what we're about to talk about. And excuse this, I having a little bit of treatment on my skin and my face, so it's all good now, it's all in healing, so we're all good. Now, so I think for most people who know me, and some who've talked to me over the years, probably know that I've been residing in the UK. And well, I'm not from the UK. Some people may pick that up in my accent. Some people maybe not, because my accent's not as strong as possibly used to be. Anyway, there's been a bit of a journey. So as we can see here, and unfortunately I didn't film some of this. It was a very stressful day, so unfortunately just photos at the moment, but the car had to come with me, so it went into the container, and then we went on a bit of a journey, quite a few thousand miles or kilometers depending on which way, I think. Now the tracking I put here is what I'm pretty sure happened. Now obviously this is not normally the way a ship go around Africa, but with all the issues in the Red Sea at the time of this trip, yeah, I think it went the long way. It did stop in Singapore here, and then a little bit later it stopped in Sydney. Now it changed ships in Singapore. Sydney, no problem, it stayed on the same ship and ended up in Tauranga. Of course, it then came up to the agent here. It's obviously an agent of the company I used in the UK. We won't go into some of the challenges I had with that. Let's just say I got charged a lot of money for the car to basically sit for nearly 3 weeks, literally about, I don't know, let's say 200-300 yards around the corner. Apparently shipping it that far was something like about 400 or 500 New Zealand dollars, so about 300 quid, 350 quid just to drive it round a corner. Yes. Anyway, they're supposedly in a contained transporter because, heaven forbid there were some bugs. Anyway, we're not going to get into that in this video. What we're going to talk about is obviously I do have the car back. Now, there are some challenges as well now that the car is in New Zealand with me, in that, and I'm not going to go into all of the details right now. Again, if you're interested in knowing how and some of the challenges I've had with getting the car back into this country, I don't know what the rules are like for Australia, or to be honest, any other country, but Australia may be similar, I don't know. A lot of the rules have changed here recently, but basically because I've brought back the Mini and my wife's Discovery 5. Now, very quickly, the challenge has been they're both NCAT 4 from a New Zealand perspective, and they're both in my name, and that's where the challenge comes in. So you can bring an NCAT 4 car in, NCAT 5 no problem, no problem at all. NCAT 4 I can bring one in, but of course they're both in my name. So we're going through a process of trying to work out how I can do something about that, and I will update you on progress with that. But the good news is I've got the car. So there's a few projects coming up. Hopefully I will have time to get some of the stuff out a little bit quicker than I have been. I'm not promising that it's going to be on a weekly basis, but things we need to look at is I want to do a little bit more with the pull handles. So as you probably noted in one, I use the proper OEM faceplate, and it kind of doesn't work very well like that. On the other side, that was on the passenger side. The driver's side, I didn't put it back. Again, doesn't look as great, but the pull handle works really, really well and sits nicely. So that's something we need to look at. For those of you who've seen some of my videos around the changing the LEDs in the dash, there are a couple of things that didn't quite work, e.g. the lights aren't working, and so I think there was on the fuel gauge and on the speedo, and also the digital readout component. I used blue lights in behind there, and they're great at night, but in the daytime can get quite hard to read in bright sunlight. So looking at what other people have done is putting in white LEDs. So I've got some white LEDs. I've got some, what do we got here? Got some yellow ones which I've used, which again there's a problem with those that I put on. Some white ones here, and I've still got some blue ones, I think, just in case for anything else I need. So that'll be a project we need to get onto and do, especially if the car's, sitting. What else do I need to do? The steering wheel. So when we changed the steering wheel I had, the original 2-spoke had all the buttons on it. When I got the 3-spoke, that didn't have any buttons with it. So obviously I had that modified by Brothers Custom steering wheels. Nice, would still love the wheel. I managed to score some buttons before I left the UK, and they're sitting in the car waiting to go in. So again, we'll go through that process, and we'll try and test them as much as possible, albeit the fact that the car is not allowed to drive on the road at the moment. So I don't know, we won't be able to test all of that. Also, because I've got an aftermarket stereo, I don't have the connections to connect that up, and that might be something I do. We'll just have to wait and see whether I feel that it's worth doing that or not, and whether I can get all the right components to actually make that work. So there's a few projects to do, but like I said, having moved countries, especially literally pretty much right around the other side of the world, I've got a lot on my plate at the moment. So I will try and drop a few little short videos here and there, just to sort of show you where things are at and what I'm doing. And outside of that, we'll try and get those other projects done. Some of the other big projects, of course, some people may remember, obviously we had the engine project being done by Grace Engine Developments. He has promised he'll get that video out shortly. If you watch his channel, please have a look for him. Got really great, if you're ever interested in building engines, this guy's just, the knowledge he's got is just incredible. Him and his son run that business, and he works on all sorts of different engines, and just incredible. So he's built an engine for me. It is a stock bottom end effectively. I've done new rings, obviously, new bearings. It's all been cleaned and checked. It's all been balanced as well, so balanced everything right through with the damper on it and the flywheel and the clutch. It's all been balanced with everything like that. And he said, I think one thing he remembers saying was that he was amazed at how well balanced the crank was in the first place. So, but all of the pistons, all of the rods have been checked and balanced and made even, so that's good. So we'll see what happens when we come to tuning it, what that means for us. He's opened up the head. We've got new valves, bigger valves, and better springs on there, and there's also a Newman 1.2 in there. So that engine's with me. Unfortunately, again, there's not a lot of footage of that just yet, because again, we'll get into that when we talk about that, but that's certainly something we'll want to get on and talk about. There's a number of things I still need to do, and we'll see how we go. My first thing here now is, obviously I had some great places to purchase stuff from in the UK, quite spoiled, obviously, with Mar Motorsport and Orange and other places, Lohan and 1320, lots of different places you can buy mini parts. Yet to see what's in this part of the world that specialises in mini, and if not, maybe I'll have to start something. I don't know how big the industry is here for that, but we'll see how we go. Anyway, that's the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll be back soon. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Take care for now, and just remember, like and subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything, and certainly helps me. Would appreciate it. Thanks very much.
Hey, she's here, she's back. My baby.